Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Brian Mallard. We got Tim Childrey over there.
Yeah, hello, everyone. I'm trying to turn a little bit of buttons here, so if you see me do it, please forgive me.
He is a working man. In the news, Donald Trump is running against Hillary Clinton for presidency.
Still?
On to the next thing.
Still,
it seems like it's been going on forever.
Yeah, really, I know it. It's the never-ending nightmare, ladies and gentlemen.
Straight out of options. We had a cancellation at the last minute, so we're going to kind of pick up where Shane and Catherine were talking about doing what you can with what you have. And I've actually got a lot to say on this subject, so thought we'd do a show on that and whatever else comes across our minds. So aside from the drinking binges over in the green room, we're going to do something productive today.
What green room? We don't have any green room anymore. If anybody wants to donate a chair for our green room.
Make sure it's a green chair. Speaking of,
true.
I'd like to say on the subject of doing what you can with what you have, the chair reminded me of something I saw, this gorgeous, gorgeous couch at Goodwill. And it's like what you see on those ultra-modern website furnishing websites. It was just gorgeous. And it was it would be in my apartment now, but it was like $300. But it's interesting because one thing that Goodwill has this thing going on where they say, "Would you like to round up to the next dollar?" And I'm like, "You're already getting the stuff for free."
Oh, they do that now?
They do that now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm like, isn't that what you're already doing? But anyway, without dissing Goodwill, because this GQ shirt I got, straight out of Goodwill.
Hey, everything I have on is Goodwill or Walmart.
We
So,
love Goodwill.
my house, Goodwill or Walmart.
I can't diss Goodwill, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm lucky. I have a wife, and by the way, hi Catherine, if you're watching, love you, baby. But she's actually a seamstress. Yeah, I threw that in, man. But she's actually a seamstress, so she tends to go out to a lot of secondhand stores, and Goodwill being one of them. And you know, around here you'll have in the nicer parts of town, which is not where I'm at, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, the Green Island Hills area.
Right.
And man, these folks just take suits and wear them one or two times and then donate them for their taxes.
I've seen shirts with the tag still on.
I know it. And you know, Catherine tends to go up there and she goes, "Hey, you know what? This is a little bit bigger on Tim, but I'm a seamstress, so." She sits there and it's almost like tailor-made for me.
Right. It's amazing. It's like there's such good stuff there. And there's, you know, it's fair share. You have to look through some other stuff to find the really good stuff, but they're really great. Some of these tripods, I believe, came from there. A lot of my stuff came from there.
You saw the price on them still, didn't you? I could sit here and itemize everything you guys are seeing that would come from Goodwill.
Tim has helped out a lot of disfortunate people.
There you go.
On the subject of doing with what you can with what you have, Goodwill and all that, you know, it kind of goes into that because of you know, if you do things, you know, you make projects and you get stuff from secondhand stores, and we were talking about Star Wars earlier, and
no, Brian was talking about Star
Brian
Wars.
was talking about Star Wars. It's going to come up sooner or later, and Star Wars and. Jason Bourne, which I saw recently, and I want to. I've got to throw out some shout outs to some local stuff here. Hollywood Connection, they've really upped it a little bit. They now have recliners in their theater. They have a theater that, you know, it's not jam packed like normally. Instead of like a foot and a half between the front of your seat and the back of the next one.
Yep.
It's like 6 feet.
Yeah, I saw that. A couple people were sleeping actually through the movie. So.
Yeah, I came close. But Jason Bourne, awesome movie. Fantastic. It stands up to the other three. The fourth one with Jeremy Renner, I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on that. But going back to Star Wars, when George Lucas wanted to make Star Wars, he went from studio to studio to studio and got turned down over and over and over again. And he finally found one that would make the movie for him. And from what I read and research I had done, he got like a lot of flack from a lot of people. Even the people working on the movie gave him a hard time, saying that this was the stupidest thing I've ever worked on and stuff like that. And you know, he had done American Graffiti, and he was an established movie maker. But then he did this one, and I guess it was a little far out for the people's train of thoughts at the time. But then it came to the theaters, and you had to take Star Wars if you wanted to see this movie that they knew everybody wanted to see or thought everybody wanted to see. Well, a couple of weeks later, you had to take that other movie if you wanted Star Wars. This was a rule that the theaters got because Star Wars was such a smash hit. And to this day, Star Wars set the standard for a lot of different things. George Lucas invented a lot of the special effects that you saw in Star Wars. They did not exist. He actually had to manufacture them from scratch. And so he is a real story of somebody who did what they could with what they had and what they were allowed to deal with. Any thoughts on that, Tim?
No. I just look at it these days as far as when that took place because, and I'm going to tell my age here. Yes, I saw the original Star Wars in the theater. God, that was a long time ago. But these days you have people that have access to cameras, and of course everything is connected to the internet.
Right.
And so, but Brian and I have actually joked about this several times, but if you have ever gone on Periscope or Facebook Live or whatever,
right,
this is usually what you're going to get. Hi, I'm smoking dope. The cops aren't going to catch me. Look. And I mean, it's sad. It's really sad.
It's really sad that that's where people's minds are. That, you have this fantastic tool that you can do amazing things with. You can get started in a movie career with Periscope, with the cell phone and your camera on your cell phone, and they're standing around getting high and I'm high. I mean,
you want to get high, that's fine, but don't make me watch it. And the scary part, a lot of them are my neighbors. It's like 3 streets over.
Wait a minute, that's my neighborhood.
Yeah, really.
I've been on Periscope and I've looked for content, and it's really hard to find. Now there are a lot of preaching services on there. There's a lot of churches, small churches that broadcast on Periscope, which is, I think, a good and worthwhile thing because people browsing it might stumble across it and listen and have a positive effect on them. But there's so much on there that's nothing. It's just nothing. And at least the guys talking about how they're high are saying something, because I see some people on there and they're just like, they're not doing anything at all. And it's like, give me your cell phone because I can use it.
Well, I've gone on Periscope before, and this was a while back, but it's kind of like mining for nuggets because
right,
you'll meet some really good people that will do really good shows, but they may be in Florida.
Right.
Or wherever they may be. So you have to go through the other 49 states of people that are acting like idiots to get to that one person. Which in itself is maybe a good thing because I can, add them. And when we did this conversation last time and Shane Pittman was here, and I think every time Shane's been here, he was talking about the number one thing is networking. So you build yourself a network. And, I know with this show, actually we're pre-recorded right now. We do this on Sunday afternoon. But when we finish up, we actually send it out to, people that we have on our network,
right,
people that are, maybe in California, Nashville, larger markets, of course, and other than Columbus. Mm-hmm. So, the guests that we have may look at, I only got 53 views on YouTube. But what they don't realize is the exposure they're getting, because I've had people write, and they're getting exposure they never would have gotten anywhere else.
Right. I would actually like to add to that. My friend Will Dockery, he has his music. I play on a lot of his stuff. Henry Connolly has played on a lot of his stuff, and he's had various other musicians playing. And Will always has CDs, and wherever he goes, he's handing them out to people, whether they want them or not.
Shameless self-promotion. He's great at doing it, though.
But the thing is he's got somebody in Texas or California ordered a copy of his Shadowville Speedway CD because they heard examples of his stuff online. The networking is extremely important. And like if you're a musician, you might play in a club and there's like 5 people in there. Lord knows I've done it. But you never know. But one of those people might become a fan. Because even if you play in front of 300 people, still only one person might become a fan. You just never know.
And then again, like we said, you never can tell if that one person is, showing, videotaping with their phone, basically,
Right.
and will send it to their cousin who happens to be, with an agency somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it's it's a good thing, but then sometimes have you ever had that feeling when you're out maybe eating or whatever, and somebody's sitting there and their phone's kind of pointed at you, and the only thing going through your head is, I wonder if they're taping me. Or if I'm on Facebook Live, whoops, I have some tea that just came out of my mouth. So it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. It's kind of a scary thing sometimes, but definitely that's something you want to network on. It's not just something you want to, I guess, just go out and just do.
Right.
Even though, now I do have to bring this up. I know there's a gentleman on Facebook Live that is, and please, by no means am I talking about anyone, but he happens to be an evangelist. And he, somewhere down the line, had to take advantage of this, because when he started with himself, and then I would assume it's with a friend or relative, whatever, playing the keyboard, doing, music. And I think it was like 2 weeks later, I went on, because he popped up every time he came, went on live. And there was like about a $30,000 LED screen behind him with flames going everywhere. And,
someone did well.
Hey, it is a bad place. The world is bad, but I mean, I think this guy actually lives all people's fears.
Yeah.
And he tapped into that, and suddenly I'm looking at this guy has like 2 million followers.
Yeah, he's doing. I'd like to know some of the tricks he's using, because I like to use some of them myself.
We're not going to do that, I promise you guys.
We're not going to do that.
But hey, if you want to send some money, we'll take it.
Send donations too. Now, yeah, the networking is extremely important. And Will Dockery, he's like, he gives out all these CDs, and most people probably never listen to him, but everybody knows his name. Networking is always a good thing.
Right.
And like you're talking about, if you're sitting in a restaurant and somebody videotaping me, I'm like, yeah, put my face out there even farther,
Yeah.
You have to love it. You have to love the camera. And it's like, you see on all these stars who get mad when the paparazzi takes pictures of them, all over the place. I'm like, the more the merrier.
True. Like I said, it's a good thing and a bad thing,
It all depends on your attitude. They say attitudes.
Well, how's that old saying goes, that a pessimist sees the glass as half empty.
Right.
An optimist sees it as half full.
Right.
But a realist gives it 2 shots of bourbon and a couple of things of ice.
That's what I'm talking about.
I just take it as you can, guys. That's the only thing I know.
Now, there's got to be some of you out there who want to do projects, and that's actually what this show is about. If you want to move from sitting on your couch to doing nothing, watching TV, to maybe making something similar to what you're watching on TV. I know that for me, I have never been satisfied with just sitting there and watching somebody else's work. I hardly ever watch TV or movies, really, mainly because I'm so busy, but also there's few movies that I'm chomping at the bit to see, because I want to be making something. And for those of you out there who may think it's out of your reach, with this whole theme of doing what you can with what you have, most of you have a cell phone. And I'll tell you, when I started, I'm a musician, so back in the 10 years ago at the Loft, I would take my camera so I could videotape myself and see my mistakes on video, then I could fix what I saw wrong. And other people were playing, and I realized, I might as well record them too, and I fell in love with working with the camera, and I would work with Windows Movie Maker, and all computers come with Windows Movie Maker, and you can edit on there. I've told people over and over again that you've got everything you need to make, a simple movie. You can add music, you can edit, you can transition, you can put in titles. You can do you've got everything you need to make a movie. And you save it to your computer, voila, you've got a movie. And a lot of the stuff is connected now. I understand that. I haven't used it, but YouTube has editing stuff.
Oh, yeah. They've had that stuff.
Yeah.
People just haven't known that because they never took time to look.
Right. They even have like ambient sound and sounds you can download.
And they actually have I know when we put music on our commercials and everything, that we always have to watch out if it's copyrighted, because
Right.
I've gotten busted on the copyright thing several times, not intentionally, but I have got it. But they actually have an entire library of tracks
Right.
that are non-copyright tracks that you can add, and you don't have to worry about, getting tagged for it.
Right.
But you know what? And Brian's right. I want to go more into this when we get back. We're going to go to our first commercials here, and we're going to come back and go a little bit further into this. So, guys, stay tuned. By the way, the young lady that canceled on us today, Jessie, we love you. I understand everything you did, but I'm going to absolutely kill you when I see you. That's a joke, Jessie. Jessie's actually going to, she rescheduled. She's going to be with us in October, the 1st of October. So, you guys that were waiting to see her, our apologies, but she definitely had a busy weekend. She had 2 or 3 gigs at once and
that
got
can be
caught in the middle
exhausting.
of it. So we are, very thankful that she wanted to come back.
Yes, and we're looking forward to having her on.
All right. In the meantime, like I said, guys, we are going to go to commercial, and we'll be right back to continue this discussion. Timeless beauty at the Gypsy Cherub, 3760 Woodruff Road, Columbus, Georgia. Class is back in style.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hello and welcome back to the show.
And you know what, Brian? We keep talking about, we got to make some more commercials, man.
We do have to make some more commercials.
And to intro and outro from the other segue that we had, the other clip that we had, that let's all go to the lobby. I'm getting busted for copyright every single time that goes up. But, it's one of those they say, well, you can use it, but we can put ads on it if you want to.
Right.
But, it's just an example. A lot of things copyrighted you can use, but that's just saying that they're kind of able to control what content they're able to put on your broadcast. So, that's just one of those things you got to watch out for. But going back in what we were talking about, which is the use of cell phones.
Right.
I guess, like you said, a lot of people use it at different churches and, and then also for any kind of movie-related things. I guess the biggest hurdle these days with a cell phone is the sound. And Brian just found out probably a couple of weeks back because we had Matt Austin on the show, and they were actually talking during a break. And Brian didn't know, but you can actually buy, little shotgun mics for your cell phone.
Yeah, it's wild. It looks like something you see on a news reporter's camera or something. It's the little mounted on the side, and it's a little tube you'll see if you ever see a news reporter photographer. They have a little tube on the side of the camera, and that's a microphone. And they sell those. You can get them at Amazon for not much.
No, about $50.
Yeah, $50, and you. I guess it plugs into. I don't have one, but it plugs into the earphone jack, and somehow reroutes the goes and makes it. Reverses the signal so it goes inside.
Yeah, guys, it plugs in right there where you're going to plug in pair of earbuds or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And it just clips on your phone, and it increases the sound dramatically. I mean, you will cut out background noise. You will pick up people that you want to pick up.
Right.
And
Very
it
directional.
is well worth the little bit of money that you're going to spend if you're going to use it for, purposes of, like you said, churches or making movies.
Right. And movie equipment is extremely expensive. I've drooled for a while over a camera I saw at Best Buy that is a professional video camera that has a lot of features on it for movie making. It's like an indie movie maker. It's like $3,000.
I know it. I know. I wanted one of those before too. But,
They're beautiful. But I found that even with the limited microphone that cell phones have, you can still do a lot. So it's like if you want to do something and we don't want to make you feel like it's not worth doing if the cell phone's not going to have good enough audio. Because in a lot of circumstances, it can. It's not going to be, Dolby surround sound or anything, and it's not going to be as good as, say, the shotgun mic. But cell phone cameras shoot in HD plus now. I mean, you can make something that technically you could shoot on your cell phone, and it could be shown on a movie screen because it's HD. I mean, it'll blow up. Like with the old cameras. Like when I first started, I had this old mini DV tape camera, and you had to rip it to the computer like in real time.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, some of that stuff you couldn't blow up very high, and it would just pixel out. But just the camera on your cell phone, it's cinematic quality, and I made use of it because Instagram would let you upload 15 seconds of video, so I started making 15-second movies. I thought, oh, this is going to be groundbreaking, and then I found out it was already a thing. But I continued to do it. But it's neat because there's so much creativity just on the streets of the city. You can go out, you just write yourself a little script, hire 2 or 3 buddies to go out there and be performers, and you can go out there and shoot, because you might wonder, where can I shoot? I don't have a studio, stuff like that. The world is your studio. You can go out and shoot this stuff. All you need is a script, a little creativity, a cell phone, and if you can do better than a cell phone, that's great, But I'm always preaching cell phones because that's what most people have.
Right.
And as far as video editing software, there's some that you can get free online, but Windows Movie Maker, that's the way to go. If you're just starting out, I graduated to Sony Vegas, which is it's good. I'm sure there's some other ones out there that are better.
CyberLink Power Director's another, bottom entry-level type thing, but, it does what you want to.
And if you're clever, and I'm not this clever because I have yet to figure it out, but there are some people that put out aftermarket packages that you can download and add into your editor and get like different filters, like filters from shows or movies you've seen.
And, the same thing with, because I know you use this also, but the same thing with music. If you want to, if you're not into the video thing, but, you'd like to record music, I know these days, it's almost unheard of if you don't have a home studio.
Right.
It used to be that if one person had it, everybody went over to record. These days, everybody has it. Mm-hmm. And, I know Audacity is an absolutely free program that you can download for music. And it doesn't have to be for music. It can be for any soundtrack that you can add with video.
Right.
You're able to do your overlays as far as your music and, commercials, and it's absolutely amazing the things that are out there these days. And I know most people know about this stuff, but a lot don't, and you'd be absolutely shocked. Now, I know where we're sitting at now. When Brian and I, started the show, this show is actually taped, and I always thought I'm not gonna say this because I always wanted people to think I had more than I have. I don't, guys. This is actually 3 webcams. They're just at different angles that we set them at. And 2 are on tripods. And then the one that I'm currently on is just, it's like your webcam. It's on your screen. And then we have, 6-channel PV board. And then if I need a few more channels, I just, I got a little Behringer for, I think the thing was $55.
Yeah.
And, I just patch it in. There's a couple of more channels. But it does what I want it to do.
It does. And it does it. I mean, really, there's not much more. I mean, there might be some fancier stuff. Maybe like you've talked about. It would be nice to have faders instead of.
And I still want that. But it's just that is something that is a necessity, but it's a want. I know at the same time, there's ways to get around it, and we do that. We do that every week.
Yeah, we do.
And I have to. I know I'm talking.
I know you.
I have to sit here and apologize, guys, because this show has been an absolute learning experience, and it still is. And I hope and pray that it never stops. That it's something that we learn every single time.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance, go back, go to YouTube, or you can go on our Facebook page, and you can see the past shows. They're on a playlist, and it's actually kind of funny that if you go and you see one mistake that was made the week before, and then suddenly that's gone, and you see another mistake, but like I said, it's we've been on 21, 22. I think it's our 22nd week now.
Yeah,
and it's just been a total learning experience.
It is, and that's very important, because if you want to pick up anything, do not be afraid of making mistakes. Every person in the world. I saw a meme on Facebook. I was thinking about this earlier, and we all know 100% accurate memes on Facebook are. However, what it said made sense. It said it was quoted from Steven Spielberg. I don't know if this is the case, but I'm just going to take what it said. It said, if you want to be a director, shoot something. Doesn't matter if it's your sister, if your sister's the main star. Put your name on it as director. Voila, you're a director. Everything after that is just negotiating prices and contracts. It's like, it really is as simple as doing it. As I've said on previous shows, the best thing I've ever seen is, was it Nike said, just do it?
Yeah, Nike, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping to have the right company there to get a lawsuit.
Guys, I'm looking at my cell phone. I promise you I'm not playing Pokemon, okay? I'm trying to look up something.
It's interesting, though, because you were talking about, doing you don't have the fanciest thing, but you can get Audacity, and you might not be interested in video production, but it could be music. And I've always preached that all that matters, specifically with music, is the end product. If you put a CD in and it sounds good, it doesn't matter what you recorded it on. I have a mini studio. And like Tim said, there's pretty much one in every house now. A lot of it has to do with your ear and if you know how to mix, if you know how to get levels right. But, it's not a gigantic fancy thing. It's in my bedroom. It's a small affair. But you get really good sound out of it, and you can make entire CDs. And I have made entire CDs, made albums for people. Produced by someone else. I did the recording, the engineering, and setting up and everything. John Phillips did most of the producing, though I have produced some of it. But it is amazing what you can do with almost nothing and get a good quality end result is what you're looking for. So don't feel bad if you've got something, if you just got a tape recorder, just make that tape recorder sound good. And, of course, it helps to have musicians who can play well.
But I know Sam Beeman was on the show a couple of weeks back, and he'll be the first one to tell you he's gotten very adept at doing voiceovers for different.
Very adept.
Well, it doesn't hurt if he can do 40 different people right off the top of his head. I can't do that, guy. But he's an amazing man to actually do that. Even Brian made the comment. What amazes me is just how you can slide so effortlessly from one to the other to the other.
Yeah, there's no clearing of his throat or anything. It's just Mickey Mouse to Bane. I mean, it's like
what is it? More cowbell? What was
yeah,
the guy? Christopher Walken and the Water Boy, and I mean, he's just
and he does fantastic at them.
Dee Armstrong's on the next week, and she asked, "What's the funniest thing?" I said, "Probably Sam, because you get a package deal. It's not just Sam; you get like 40 or 50 other people that he brings along with him." But I was looking at my phone. And I had posted something back in 2014, and I just posted it again, and I think it kind of sums up what Brian's talking about and so forth. And then we're going to go into our second thing of commercials here. But a writer by the name of Kurt Vonnegut, very famous writer, he wrote something back in the 60s, and he said, and I'm trying to read here, guys, my eyes aren't what they used to be, but it says, go into the arts. I'm not kidding. The arts are not a way to make a living. Well, some of us can debate that, but says they are a very human way of making life more bearable. Practicing an art, no matter how well or badly, is a way to make your soul grow, for heaven's sakes. Write a poem to a friend, even a lousy poem. Do it as well as you possibly can. You will get an enormous reward. You will have created something. And, that to me, it's just like you said, do the best you can. It doesn't really matter what everyone else thinks.
Exactly.
Create something.
Mm-hmm. Sing like no one's listening. Just do it. And it's like there's plenty of people out there that are not creating anything. There's plenty of people out there that are just playing Pokemon. Nothing against Pokemon. If you are having a good time doing it, you have a good time.
Just watch out for my car, guys.
And stay off my lawn.
Yep.
Commercial, roll that beautiful footage.
All right, guys, be right back.
Hello, I'm Catherine Childry with Let's Vocalize. For over 35 years, I've coached vocalists and groups privately. I also perform vocal workshops training choirs. I'd love the opportunity to show you how direction, discipline, vocal health care, and regular practice can drastically improve you, your group, or your choir's performance. Call me at 706-536-6123 or visit us online at www.letsvocalize.com. I'd love to help you offer your best gift.
Yes, Toddy, the chocolate malt in a can.
It's so good hot. It's so good cold.
It hits the spot with young and old.
Yes, Toddy pleases everybody. Delicious chocolate malted toddy, made with rich, real milk, not powdered milk.
So come and get it, everybody. It's time to drink your chocolate toddy.
Delicious.
Okay, guys. Go ahead, Brian. Welcome back to the show. I just wanted to
you
say
go
it
right
one
ahead.
time.
Yeah, you said.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Actually, and when we first started this discussion, I'll say, about a month and a half ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But we started with Brian. Actually, at that time was out of town, and we did not know what we were going to do that weekend. I mean, because guests were down at that point, and we were scratching our head trying to figure out what to do. And Brian and I actually kind of work in the same place. And I told him, I said, "Hey, I got an idea. Let me get." A couple of people. One was my wife, and she was actually the lady you just saw in the past commercial, and her name is Catherine. And Shane does movies. But I told Brian at that time, I said, maybe we can do a show on, creating art with what you have. It's kind of like what we've done. Mm-hmm. And he said, you know what, that's a really good idea. And you know what, that's been one of those shows that we actually lost track of time because it's just something that you can just continue to talk about on and on and on. Next thing you know, you're looking at the clock. It's been like 45 minutes,
Right,
and you're like,
yeah.
oh, my God. But, it's the same way this week when we had a guest that actually canceled on us this morning around 7. We had very little time to come up with something. And so Brian came over, and I asked him, I said, what do you want to do? He said, hey, I would like to continue the discussion that you guys had. Because when we had the first one, he told me, he said, I would love to have been in that discussion. So, it's just one of those things that touches everybody.
It is. And I think, as an artist and as a creative person, I think this is of paramount importance. And I realize that there's a lot of people who have no interest in they're not artists. They're not interested in creating something. But I know that there are people who are interested And 11 years ago, I couldn't have told you how to do anything. And it really, you can build something from the ground up. You can go out there, and I'm always preaching people to do something constructive. Sometimes I look at my Facebook page, and it's just meme after meme after meme, and all these lame posts. No offense to my friends on Facebook.
Yeah, but even some of those memes, somebody, at least they're going into Photoshop and creating them, At least someone is doing something,
Yeah.
but it gets to, if you ever get to a point where all you're doing is going on your Facebook and going, oh, share,
Right.
share, then, you've lost the meaning of being able to touch someone across the world.
Something that I have been that's been part of my driving desire has been to start something in Columbus that has not been here before. And we have had things. I'd like to do a shout out to Way Down Film Festival, which is coming in October, and we've had film
excellent.
festival
I'm glad
before.
you said that.
J.C. Jenkins
And Cora King.
are putting that together, and I guess it's going to be at the Springer, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not real sure. I know they're both my friends. I can send them something, but if not, then look up Way Down Film Festival on Facebook, and it'll pop up.
Because that is something. Because it's going to be independent films. It's going to be movies made by people who are not Hollywood.
Right.
And that's really cool. And I'm so excited when I see something like this come along, because Columbus has potential. Columbus has 300,000 residents. I mean, there's a lot of people living in Columbus.
Right.
And there's all those people. And I've preached for a long time that we should have our own little Coney Island down by the river. We could have a carnival down by the river. That would be a huge draw, because they're always talking about tourism. They've got the whitewater rafting, but more needs to be added, more things. There's so much that could happen here, and the only person that can really make it happen is you. And
Mayor Tomlinson.
And Mayor Tomlinson.
If you're listening, Mayor.
Hashtag Mayor Tomlinson.
Yeah. I tried to do the eyebrow thing. I can't do it.
But I would like to give advice that I always usually ask people. My advice is start something, hone your skills at it, and never, ever stop, because 100% of the people who give up fail. And not everybody who keeps trying will succeed, but that's the only way to make it. You just got to keep working, and work first, play later.
And, I want to add to that, and that is go on your Facebook page. And, I have a tendency to do this. When we first started this, I know with Brian, he's, a musician, and I tended to go on, and everybody that was his friend that I saw was a musician, I would go, add a friend. And, it just, I found myself, 6 months later, it went from Brian to, guests we had, and every time it just has extended all over, actually the world, but especially the United States. Mm-hmm. And, the next thing you know, you're going on and people are going, wow, man, you have, writers and big-time actors and producers and musicians, and how did you... I just went on and befriended them,
Mm-hmm.
Step out. Take a chance, if it doesn't work, try again.
Yeah. You will make mistakes. Things will not always pan out, and it will be a difficult process at times. And you have to brace yourself for the fact that sometimes people won't show up. And that's not a commentary on on our lack of a guest today. It's actually a commentary on some projects I've worked on, to where I'm making a sci-fi movie, and I've shot the same scenes like 5 times with different people. They come in and shoot, then they go away. They drop out.
Yep.
And just brace yourself for that, because that is going to happen no matter what you're doing. Band members, you'll go through them like socks. You just have to keep at it.
And, if you're out there and you're going, where can I start? If you would like to do the network thing, start with, go to our Facebook page, the show.
Mm-hmm.
Write something there. If we don't answer it, then, we've got gosh, I forgot how many people we've got on there now, friends, but
yeah.
They will. You'll be actually shocked at the answers and the places that they're going to come from.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you may ask a question, how do I do this on YouTube? And suddenly you got some guy in, California answering it.
Yeah.
Just because he happens to be a friend of a friend of a friend.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he sees it.
Or, contact Brian or myself. We both have Facebook pages, or look at the friends we have and just, do what I did, man. Just go out and just, hey, can I be your friend? And ask questions. And that's probably going to be your biggest fountain of knowledge that you're going to be able to get.
Yeah.
And
Other people.
Yeah. And, and that's something else that these days is Facebook just allows you to access untold amounts of knowledge. And if you're going into the editing thing, whether it be music or whether it be cameras or whatever, go on YouTube. They've got absolutely tons of stuff that will explain steps that you never thought that you could do. A few months down the road, you're going to look back and you're going to go, wow, I never thought I could do that. But look at it now. It's like second nature.
They have tutorials for everything.
Yep, they do. Yeah, and you'd be surprised on how many times I'm doing tutorials because, it's I just don't go on here and just know what I'm doing. A lot of times I'm going to Google and YouTube.
Right.
In fact, my dad's I think he's in his 70s now. And his wife, absolutely at this point, I love her to death. Judy, if you're watching, I love you to death. But, I made and it cracks me. I made a meme that you said, but I put the biggest mistake I ever made was showing my dad YouTube because he has been sitting at his house. He's like me, his hearing is not that great. So he tends to be visually oriented, and he goes on his phone and on Facebook. She said, Tim, all he does is watch YouTube now because he's a wood maker, and he watches instructional videos constantly. Wow. So
it's a wellspring of information.
Dad, you're welcome. Judy, I'm sorry, but
we are sorry for the plethora of information that he found.
Plethora. Remember that word? We do use it all the time here.
Well, I guess that's it for this show, Tim. Unless you got anything else.
No. I've got a ton of things that we could go into, but we got a time limit that we got to keep. But
and we'll pick up on that the next time a guest cancels.
Yeah, and tune in next week. Hopefully, Sabre Lucas will be able to join us. She said she would, but she's got kids and so forth, and 3 or 4 jobs. And,
yeah.
But boy, after today, I kind of don't want to promise anyone because I feel kind of bad. But she should be here, guys. So the video should be up around 5:30, somewhere around there. And hopefully, if things work out over on YouTube and Google and they shake all the bugs out, we'll be able to go back to a live format pretty soon. But I'm going to ask this, and then I hate to do it because I know Brian is just he was biting at the bit to do this show. Anything else?
No, I think I'll save anything else for the next time we do a show like this, and next time we do a show like this, maybe we'll be able to get Shane back in here and we can all 3 talk about it.
Yeah,
I would
definitely
like to have been on that one.
And that's something. Now, ever since we've done this show, we have made a lot of good friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool to be able to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, can you come help me do the show?" Brian is going to be out of town, or Tim's going to be gone, and everybody's kind of irreplaceable.
Big shout out to Catherine, to Shane Pittman, and to John and Eddie with Moderately Informed. They've all stepped in and done some stuff.
They have Matt Austin. He's been in a couple of times.
Yeah.
And actually, we've got Christian Ortiz coming in it's the 1st of September.
Cool. Looking forward to that
well,
one.
not the first weekend of September, because first week of September is Labor Day weekend, and we're going to give everybody a break on that deal and enjoy your Labor Day. But the weekend after that, Christian Ortiz is coming in. Christian's one of those people that he was here, and he was talking about his photography and his projects and so forth. He now has gone back into his music again.
Very cool.
And, and he's doing a lot of recording and putting out EPs. And
Christian Ortiz is somebody who's really impressed me, and he does some really good stuff.
Yeah,
really professional.
He does. So, and, that's not the slight. Anyone else has been on the show.
Oh, no,
you're all very special to us and talented, immensely talented. And very impressive. But like I said, we got a time limit, guys. We're going to go ahead and try to cut this. And please join us upcoming every week on Sunday. Like I said, video should be up around 5:30
on the show.
All right, you guys take care. See you later.